Hello everyone, my name is Laura. I love to crochet and today's video is actually going to be a little bit of a different one, a little bit more of a DIY home decor situation. But I decided to make myself a little craft corner in my apartment and I wanted to take you along that journey with me. So I had a space that I wasn't really using for anything. The previous tenant that was in here before had it set up as an office space, and I wanted to use it as an opportunity to kind of house all of my creative stuff in one place. So that's what you're going to see today, is me kind of transforming that space into something that is functional for me and my needs and really lets me be creative. So I put together a little HGTV style graphic to show you what I have planned for the space, but I want to work around the desk that is already in that area. Eventually I'd maybe like to get a bigger desk, but for now we're going to work with what we've got. So I have that desk as the base, and then I want to hang a pegboard over top of the desk. I think that really brings like a crafty element to the space, but it's also going to be really functional. I think it will be a great place to hang things up like patterns that I'm currently working on, swatches, color palettes, really putting that creative input right in front of my face and right in my eyes by displaying it on the pegboard. And it also adds more storage. The pegboard that I was looking at from IKEA came with things like little cups and trays that you can add to the pegboard that are great for storing things that you need right at eye level. And then on either side of that desk, I want to bring in those two ladder shelves. I think they'll be a great space-saving solution compared to a traditional shelf because they give you a little bit more of an eye line and they don't block the walkway as much as a traditional shelf might. So ladder shelves are the solution that I'm going for. And I want to fill these shelves with things like books, yarn, knickknacks, things that just visually bring me a lot of joy and right now don't really have a place in my apartment. So I'm excited to style up those shelves and have them also act as a decor element. So the first thing that I needed to do was source the ladder shelves. I wanted to make sure I knew what size I was going for, what look I was going for. The ones that I really wanted were on Wayfair, but they were almost $300 a shelf and I needed two of them, so almost $600. And I was really trying to do this craft space on a budget and they just were not in the budget. So it was time to find a dupe online. So I went to Amazon. Ideally, there's so much secondhand furniture that you can get that's higher quality and less expensive. So if I had a vehicle, I would definitely be looking on those secondhand sites, finding some shelves that already existed. Unfortunately, I don't have a vehicle and I can't drive. So even if I had found the perfect shelves, I had no way of bringing them into my home. So Amazon was the next best option, and they had a ladder shelf that looked very similar to the ones that I was looking at on Wayfair, but they only came in black and white, which wasn't going to work for my space. So I decided to buy them and spray paint them. And then it was time to hit the hardware store. So I went and got a drop cloth. I was going to be spray painting on my balcony, so I needed something to protect my balcony. And then I also picked up spray paint. The brand of spray paint that I got, again, I'll put right here so that you can take a look. I really know nothing about spray paint. I didn't pick like a heavy duty, like a rust resistant spray paint or any outdoor spray paint because it's not going on outdoor furniture. I just picked more of like a generic spray paint. And really for me, the biggest thing that I was looking for was that it was the right color, which is probably not how to shop for spray paint, but I had a very specific, like pure primary yellow that wasn't too mustard for this space. So I found the color that I was looking for. And then my shelves arrived and they come disassembled, so all of the pieces were flat, which is actually perfect if you're going to be spray painting furniture because then you can get into all the nooks and crannies before you assemble it. So I laid all the pieces out on my balcony and I started spray painting. And then just a couple tips for spray painting. I am no expert, but this was some stuff that I learned along the way. Make sure that you are covering your nose and mouth and also your hands when you're spray painting. You don't want to be inhaling spray paint or getting it all over your hands. So I would recommend wearing gloves and some kind of mask or bandana or something over your mouth. Also for the distance that you're spraying away from the piece, I found somewhere around 6 inches was a good distance away for coverage. When I got too close to the furniture, it started to get drippy and it wasn't giving it a nice smooth finish. And when I got too far away, it was more like misty and it wasn't giving the coverage that I needed. So somewhere around 6 inches seemed to be the sweet spot. You'll also see when I started the project, I was spray painting on top of a drop cloth, a plastic drop cloth, which I do not recommend unless your pieces are perfectly dry when you flip them over to do the other side. The plastic texture will leave an imprint in your spray paint, which does not look good. So I made that mistake once, and then I switched to just laying down a big piece of cardboard and spray painting on the cardboard, and that was a lot better. It was easier to flip the pieces. It didn't leave any kind of weird texture on them, so I would recommend spray painting on cardboard instead of something like a plastic drop cloth or a tarp or something like that. And spray painting is just such an easy way to customize pieces for your space. I find a lot of the time you get white, black, or like one wood option when you're looking at kind of like generic or more affordable furniture, and that just leads to that like beigeness, everything is one color, everything looks like it came from IKEA. It doesn't lend the personality to the space where something like spray paint does, and it's so cheap and easy to do. I think in total I spent like $15 on 2 cans of spray paint, and it really makes such a big difference.
And then it was time to assemble the shelves. So I put together this satisfying time lapse of me doing some of that. I used a mixture of a screwdriver and a drill, but you can really just use a screwdriver. It was no big deal. And this was easy to put together as one person. So if you are doing it alone, this shelf was no problem.
Hello. So I've moved the yellow shelves into place. This is what they're looking like. I really like the way that they came out. I think they add some really nice color over here. They obviously need to be styled and filled with knickknacks and different bits, but that will be coming later. But now it is time to embrace my inner Bob the Builder and put up the pegboard. Nice open space for it here. And this is the pegboard. I got it from IKEA, and the one that I got comes with a whole bunch of attachments. So it has like these little cups, it has a long kind of attachment, some hooks, so a bunch of different things that I can store and display on this pegboard, which is exciting, but I am not excited to try and mount it. I'm like cursed with IKEA things and getting them wrong. I think because they don't have words on the directions and it's just pictures, I'm like, don't know what that is. So we're gonna take this out of the package. We are going to read the directions twice, and then we're gonna mount it. I believe it's just screwing in like 2 hooks and then this hangs from the hooks, but you never know with IKEA stuff, so let's do it. Hello. As you can see, it is not the same day as when I started trying to put the pegboard up. It is definitely something that takes 2 people. So my brother came over last night and helped me hang it up. And I think it's looking so good. I'm really excited about it. But now that we kind of have the base of our craft zone in place, it's time to add the design touches. So I'm going to start filling the shelves, adding stuff to the pegboard, getting some stuff going on the work surface. So I'm going to put you on a time lapse as I work to fill up these shelves. Okay, and with that, I think we are done the craft zone. I'm really happy with how it all came together. It's so nice to have everything I could possibly need to be creative all in one place and all at my fingertips, which is so exciting. So I thought I'd walk you through some of the details a little bit more up close and show you how I'm planning to use the craft zone.
So as you can see on the two shelves on either side, I have books on the bottom two shelves. Honestly, I just needed somewhere for them to go, and they're good at weighing down the shelves at the bottom. So I have books down there. I have this little chicken that I embroidered. It's terrible, but I thought he would be cute in the craft zone. Then on the middle two shelves, I have some acrylic yarns. Because they're acrylic, I don't mind having them out. If they were wool or another natural fiber that like pests could get into, I keep those in closed totes. But I thought I'd put the acrylic out here and have it ready to reach. And I just love the pop of color that it adds to the shelves as well. Then on the next shelf up, I have some more acrylic on this side. I have a little mug that I made in a pottery class that I keep my pens and pencils in. And then on this side, I have a plant. It's actually a fake plant. Don't tell anyone. I can't keep any plants alive. But I have a little plant and watering can and this little tiny wicker chair that I got at a yard sale. And then on the very top, I have this Matisse postcard that I put in a frame. I got both of those at yard sales, and this little votive as well, and this concrete candle that my mom actually made for me for a Christmas gift a couple years ago, and it's just so beautiful that I never burn it. And then the final shelf on this side just has a piece of artwork that I got at the thrift store and two little knickknacks that I also got at the thrift store. This is a bookend and a little vase, and I thought the colors looked nice together there. And I think when it comes to styling shelves, having a mixture of heights of items really helps. So some of these taller items like the plant and the piece of artwork at the top here really help bring some visual interest to the shelves. And the shelving really can be both practical and a design feature. So try adding some frames, some artwork, some plants, some items of different height and different texture if you're finding that your shelves are looking boring, not filled out, not the way that you'd like. Adding height can be a good way to kind of remedy that. Then we have the pegboard, which I love. Right now it's looking a little bare. I'm just trying to figure out exactly how I want to use it. But for now I have my crochet hooks in this cup here. And then in this cup I have my tapestry needles and my little container of straight pins for blocking. And then in this little container, I have my stitch markers, which are in this little pouch, and two different types of tape. I have some double-sided tape and some regular Scotch tape. I love tape. It's nice to have good high quality tape at the ready, so I have those two there. And then hanging on the pegs right now, I have some painter's tape. I like to use this when I paint to secure like my watercolor paper or whatever, so I have that there. And some knitting needles. Not sure if that's like the best way to store circular knitting needles, but for now they'll go there, and if I have more I can add them to the pegboard. And then on this clip here I have a couple crochet patterns that I'm currently or about to start working through. So I have this heritage crochet book that I got at the thrift store and another pattern behind it so that they're easy to reach and accessible, and I think it also kind of acts as a nice little artwork piece here. So I'm really into that. And I'm hoping to fill this out with more like color palette swatches, other kinds of swatches, different things as I work on different projects and need them. So for now I'm leaving it kind of empty, but I'm sure it will get full and overwhelmed soon. And then lastly, I have the desk area. So I got a cutting mat from Michael's that I wanted to add to this desk to protect it. Obviously, when I'm cutting things, I want to start junk journaling So I wanted a big space where I could cut paper, make collages, all of that kind of stuff. And it just protects the desktop. And I nailed it with the size of this. I didn't measure and it fits perfectly, which is great. And then I have this little clip-on lamp from IKEA, and this can be clipped anywhere to the desk and moved around, which I think will be nice when I'm crocheting later at night and I need light directly on a project. So I think that will be really handy, and I love the purple and green color combination. And right now I have my laptop on this table. It won't always be here, but it's nice that it can be kind of a laptop working space or more of an artistic working space. So I have my laptop, I have a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse that are pink and so cute. And then lastly, I'll just show you what's in the drawers here. So I have some more patterns, tons of patterns and magazines and different things that I've picked up, and my junk journal. So I'm going to be starting to use that more for collages and stuff. I also have a crochet journal that I should put in here. And if you have questions about how I crochet journal, I can talk about that at some point too. And then in here, I just have thread and needles. And then in this drawer, I have more miscellaneous items. So I have like a roll of magnet tape. It's like sticky and you can turn anything into a magnet, which is fun. I have some scraps for my junk journal, so like little fun bits of paper and logos and stuff that I want to use for that. I have a hot glue gun because you always need a hot glue gun, some oven bake clay, 2 more rolls of tape, a plain or a clear packing tape and a white duct tape, some Mod Podge, and then back here I have some gouache paints, and my nicer paintbrushes are in there. So if I feel like doing some painting, it's all right there. But that is the finished craft zone. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think it's going to be such a functional space for me, such an inspiring space for me, a really creative space. And I'm sure this is going to be a view that you start seeing a lot as I do a lot more of my work and planning and editing and all of that good stuff in this space. So thank you so much for following me along while I put this together. Next week, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled crochet programming, but I thought it'd be fun to switch it up and show you this little craft area. I hope that it was inspiring. I hope that maybe you got a couple good tips from this video, but I wanted to say thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!